So, because they can't present me, even though they know me well, I have to present myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Doreen Toutikian. I used to be an NDU student 5 years ago. 2006 I graduated, yes. And then I went to Germany and to Scotland, where I studied more multidisciplinary design and mostly design research. So as Nana was giving the course here about design and culture, and she asked if someone could do a little bit of a talk about design research and what it's about. So she asked me for it last week, and here I am. So, what is design research? Now, I'm going to try to make this really big topic as small and concise as possible. If we're going to think of design research and how it started, I'm sure you all know here that when the Bauhaus between the 20s and 30s, they were basically doing all the in-depth research that actually led to design research nowadays. So they put all the principles of design, whether it was the measurements, imbalance theory, colors, and everything. And then, what happened was during the 80s and 90s, this whole idea of this German Bauhaus that was about functionality and research and based on objectivity became more of this personal design where this confusion between art and design started to happen, where designers kind of started to think we experiment a lot, we break the rules, we make types that nobody can read, and this will make us pretty much like the cool designers. And basically this was actually for design research a way down, because many people started to want to study design, especially because now the technology was being affordable, computers and so on. So design started to become more of like an artsy kind of thing instead of it being based on research. And then, after the cultural appropriation of digital technology, this is basically nowadays where we have mobile technology everywhere, where the internet is everywhere. So this basically cut down the mass media idea, and the niche became even smaller and smaller. And therefore, there was a lot more technology to be used, and because no one really knew how to use it, we needed research. It was again about functionality and no longer about style. So, there is this old debate in design that still exists. And I call it old because parts of the world really think that this is over, and other parts of the world still think no. So there are some designers that think that design is about intuition. It is about the insight that's conditioned by your experiences, your culture, and your imagination. It's basically that eureka moment that you get when you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, this is a brilliant idea for a poster. That's good, and it works sometimes, but not all the time. So research, on the other hand, is based on information retrieval and analysis, so it's more objective in a way. Nowadays, what the new school of thought says in design is that they actually have to work together to form what is now the new design. So design research is design thinking plus social sciences research methods. So design thinking is everything that you have already accumulated while studying design, while working in design, from the creative process that you go through, the problem-solving skills that you have to deal with in every single step, the multidisciplinary attitude that you have, meaning when you're working as a designer, you can be working on any book, on any website, and at the same time you have to know enough knowledge to actually do the design in a proper way. So this gives you a multidisciplinary attitude towards it. Your aesthetic expertise, which after a few years here, which should probably be a lot better, your design principles and theory, which come from the Bauhaus, and your basic ability to visualize concepts, which is what makes you designers and not businessmen or marketing people or anybody else. On the other hand, the social sciences are basically research methodologies that we kind of just borrowed and tried to make a design project out of. So these research methods come from ethnography, which is the study of people, culture, and their behaviors, sociology, psychology, anthropology, and cultural studies. So, before I start telling you more in depth about design research and how you can actually do the research, why should you embrace design research actually? Many people think that research is just not sexy, you know, it's not this kind of like glamorous thing that you do, but we beg to differ. So, I came up with 7 reasons yesterday why you should embrace design research. First of all, which is something that you all know, is that it's a solid backup for your ideas and your concepts. For any client, for any idea that you want to say, even if it's coming from the moon, if you have enough research to back it up, that's already a big plus for you. Second of all, even though some of you are still students and some of you are no longer students but working for a bit, you can understand that for some people, graphic design for clients science can get boring after a while, because you get to eventually just do what other people tell you, from menus to annual reports to catalogs and brochures and logos and logos and logos. And then after a few years, you think, what am I doing? I mean, how am I actually serving a purpose? Another reason is that you live in the Middle East and North Africa, which is a place that's completely barren of design solutions. That means that there are a lot of opportunities for you to do so many things. Number 4, design research actually opens up your mind to so many disciplines, and it enriches your perception. So you're no longer thinking just like graphic design or product design or even just design form, but you're actually trying to see things in more of a multidisciplinary way. You become more critical and more efficient in problem solving. And this is a skill that everybody could get better and better. You get the chance to actually participate in social and environmental issues. And this I will show you later. So my concentration on design research will be more based on social innovation and what we could do for the environment and society. And finally, it is the future of design and innovation, so you should get on the boat. So, research helps us appreciate design's own intelligence rather than simply appropriating its glamour, is basically what I'm trying to say. Now, since we're actually talking about culture as well, it's important that we understand what culture is, actually, and how it relates to design. So, if you think of culture, it is basically this unspoken set of rules that every society has. It is the way you behave, the way you say hello to someone, how you drink your coffee, how you dress, every single little bit, and also your social values as well, make up what your culture is. Your culture is something that you don't really realize because you live in it quite intensely, but you only actually notice it when you move away and live someplace else, and realize, I do this differently, so that's because I come from a different culture. Now, how does design relate to any of this? Does anybody want to answer that question? No. Okay, so basically, your cultural behavior is actually always posing new problems at the end of the day. You have new needs at the end of the day. And what you need to do is to create a design to solve this problem. And for every different behavior, there will be a different design. So therefore, what design is doing is actually, it is solving the problems that your cultural behavior has and the social values and all that. And at the same time, it is a cycle, because when you create new design, it actually changes the behavior, because now people start using that design and start reading that design, and it changes the way they talk and the way they think, because they're actually interacting with this new design. So, therefore, you need to actually do the research about your culture so that you can actually create design that's beneficial to your culture and not the other way around, such as taking something from a completely different culture, putting it in there, and therefore you get problems of cultural identity and so on.